Okay, so we're talking about surface area of spheres today. I think I have one in here. So like if this is your sphere, it's just the area around it. Like if you were covering it with some sort of covering or paper or something, it's that area around it. But it's really just plug this into the calculator. So surface area equals 4 times pi times that radius. So here's my radius, 2.5. 2.5 squared. So it's just, you type that whole thing into the calculator. 4 times pi times 2.5 squared. And it's 78.5. That's it. Like surface area is pretty simple. But what if it gives you that diameter? That's the one thing that, might be kind of weird. If it gives you the diameter, make sure you cut it in half. 4 times pi times 5 squared. So just pay attention to that. If you're given the diameter, make it the radius, and then you plug that in. Make sure you know how to find pi. It's second, and then this little arrow that points up, and that's going to give you that pi. If you see that arrow button, it will give you, above it is the blue pi, because you click second to get to that pi. And then 5 squared. So this one is 314.2. And that's it in a nutshell. So that's how you find surface area. There's really not much else to talk about. But what if you are given the surface area and it's asking you to go backwards and find the radius? On the quiz tomorrow, there will be a problem exactly like this. So just make sure that you follow it, and you can plug it all into the calculator, and it's just 2 steps, okay? So you solve it like this. You're given the surface area, so you plug 50 in for the surface area, but you don't have the radius. So you just write it out like that, and then you're trying to get the radius all by itself. So the way to do that is to divide by 4 pi. And we're going to do it at the same time. We're going to divide by 4 pi. And I'm going to show you how to do that in the calculator. Make sure, so I want everybody to grab their calculator and do this with me, because it's really easy for the calculator to mess this up if you don't type it in like this. You're going to get the fraction bar. So how do we do that? I think the easiest way is the green button and then the button right next to it. And that's going to get you the fraction bar. So you're just typing this whole thing. 50 divided by 4 times pi. Okay, and that gives you this number. So 50 divided by 4 pi gives you this number right here, which this is going to, you're going to round it to the nearest tenth, so ultimately it's going to round to 4. And then here's where people tend to mess up and they forget. Your last step is to take the square root. So this is a 2-step problem. You're going to start by dividing by 4 pi, and then you take the square root of that number. And so you're going to end up with r equals 2. All right, so your 2 steps are, number 1, you divide by 4 pi. How do you do the fraction thing? Like this thing, the green button and the one next to it. There's other ways to do it too. So if you know a different way, do that. I think there's like 3 different ways. So you're going to divide by 4 pi, and then your second step is take the square root. All right, those are your 2 steps. And you'll always get the answer. All right, last one. This formula right here, this is volume. And notice there's only one thing to plug in, just the radius again, but we have to know how to make it cubed. So this is another one where I highly suggest, please put this in the calculator with me. Let's do it together. All right, when people get these wrong, it's because they forget to cube it. Almost always and almost exclusively, that's what happens. So 4 times pi times 3. All right, so write that in, and I'll go a little slower so you guys can stay with me here. So I got my little fraction bar. I typed 4, because it's just literally typing in the formula. 4 times pi times 3, and then I'm going to show you how to make it cubed. So I want you to type this in with me and make sure you can find this. So your next step is going to be, all right, you see where the pi is? You see where that little arrow that points up? You want to click on that button. So I clicked, I did 4 pi r. So 4 times pi times 3, and I clicked on that arrow that points up. And then I can click on the 3, and that makes it cubed. And then we're going to divide by 3, and that's going to get us our answer. That's going to be the volume, or how much like liquid, or how much can go inside the sphere. So 4 pi r cubed divided by 3. So 113.1. And we're going to do it one more time, just to make sure everybody's on the same page, and then that's the last one. So this gives us the diameter. We want the radius. So we want to cut that diameter in half to get 4.2. All right, so 4.2 cubed over 3. So I want you to type this in. All right, so how do I get the cubes? Let's make sure everybody is aware. So you start by doing this alpha and then the button next to it, and that's going to give you this. And then 4 times pi. All right, and then the 4.2, and now this is what's new. This arrow that points up. We'll then put it in the superscript up high, and then you can type your 3 to cube it. And then that's how you get your number. So 310.3. Okay, that's it.